Hello there, everyone. My name is Deborah. I am the founder of DCL Ministries, the author of Beyond the Face of the Movies, and soon to be released, The Women God Used. Please look for that later this year. It's going to be such a good read. I'm also the radio host of a Christian weekly show called Dovetails. I hope you're tuning in. It's such an exciting show. We talk about everything. We enjoy ourselves. We laugh. But it's there to uplift you, to empower you, to encourage you, and to let you know that God is always for you. I know some of you out there are thinking, I don't know God, but please know He knows you. And that has to do with my topic today. I really wanted to talk with you about it's easier to give than it is to receive. And I say that because a lot of people out there are sitting there, they're thinking the great things that happen in their life is a coincidence. There's a lot of Christians out there that God is trying to help you, but you will just not receive it. And I say this because it's very difficult, I think, sometimes to be in a posture, to be in a position of having to receive something. Many times people think, oh, I don't want to be on welfare. Oh, I don't need anything. Oh, no, keep that for yourselves. And then what happens is when we get into the bad times in our lives, when we get into those moments of despair, we always yell out, no one cares for me. Nobody ever helps me. But that, if you really think about it, is not entirely true. I came upon a really tough time financially in my own life, and the Lord was really helping me. He was giving things to me, and I was having a hard time receiving it. And I remember sitting there. I finally got on my feet, and I had gone into a little mom and pop food shop, and I had breakfast, and I just was so grateful that the Lord had brought me through this difficult time in my life. And as I sat there and the lady brought me my meal, and I was just so excited just to have this meal, to be in an atmosphere that I wasn't by myself or I wasn't alone. And I just was going to enjoy this meal with God. And I remember sitting there. The place was packed. People were there getting their breakfast and chatting with friends. And it seemed like just such a great time and something to be a part of. I know it sounds a little corny, but for me, it was just a really wonderful time. And I bowed my head and I prayed. Sometimes people are nervous to do that in public spots, but for me, God has stuck with me through so many things, and I needed to make sure that I always bow my head and pray before I eat. And so I did, and I continued to move on and have my breakfast. My waitress came over to me and she said, the gentleman over there, he wanted to know if you wanted his newspaper. He's leaving and he just thought maybe you'd like to read it. So I thought that was so nice. I was like, wow, that was really nice. Sure. And the gentleman left, and I sort of tried to get his attention, but he didn't see me. And probably about moments later, a lady came over to me. I would say my waitress, excuse me. And she said, oh, you know the gentleman that just left? I said, oh, yeah. She said, he also paid for your meal. I was in shock. I didn't know what to say. I kind of thought to myself, why would he do that? I don't know him. And Holy Spirit kept saying, you do things for people all the time. And God was trying to do something for me. This man, for some reason, he actually paid for my meal, and he really didn't need to. I had to hold the tears back. And I asked the waitress, I don't understand, why would he do that? She looked at me and said, he looked over and he saw you praying. I had to hold the tears back one more time. The idea that God was really giving to me, just because I could pay for my meal, just because things were going better financially, God still wanted to give. That means that I had to receive, and it was hard. I didn't understand why. He didn't know me. But you know what? That's what I love about DCL Ministries. It's about random acts of kindness. It's about doing something you don't have to do. You're just doing it because you want to do it. Maybe someone moves you in a particular way and you feel the need, you feel compelled to inspire them and to help them and to encourage them. I'm telling you, everything that I'm a part of in my life, this ministry, the radio show, the books that I write, it really is about encouraging others and helping others. I went through such a difficult time in my own life, and never again do I ever want to see a person be down on themselves, discouraged, when I know that I could give them an encouraging word. I could write an article that they could read that would empower them to move forth and to go towards their destiny, to go towards their purpose, to push everything out of the way. I really want to encourage you today to make sure you know where you're placing your energy. A lot of times we place our energy in all these various places, and then what happens is when we are trying to move towards our destiny, we're tired. So I want to encourage you, in addition to what we're talking about today, on that as well. But please, please do not be the type of person that pushes away what God is trying to give to you. Don't be the type of Christian that says, oh no, you can keep it. God is here for me. God is trying to give to you. He's trying to give you a season of surplus. He's trying to put you into a season of spilling over of blessings. Do not let your pride or your ego get in the way. Receive today. Receive this week. And those of you that don't know God, I definitely want to tell you that God knows you and all the things that's happening in your life, the coincidence. Maybe you expressed a concern into the air. God heard you, and He's working on your behalf. Come closer to Him. Be encouraged this week. Be sure, if you haven't heard my Dovetails radio show, check me out at www.blogtalkradio.com/PJC Media. And be encouraged with us. Have a great week.